start the day's other headlines at the Supreme Court. This afternoon, justices decided to allow members of the Department of Government Efficiency, or DOGE, to access Social Security systems that contain personal information on millions of Americans. That includes school records, salary details, and medical information. The Trump administration had argued that DOGE needs that information to root out waste and fraud. A lower court found that DOGE's efforts amounted to a fishing expedition. Separately, the court found the team once led by Elon Musk does not have to turn over internal records to a government watchdog group. The court's 3 liberal members dissented in both rulings. The Trump administration is also asking the Supreme Court to allow its plans to dismantle the Department of Education to proceed. Today, the Justice Department filed an emergency appeal asking the justices to pause a lower court order that would reinstate some 1,400 agency employees. The government argues the judge in the case exceeded his authority. Separately, a federal judge temporarily blocked President Trump's latest effort to prevent Harvard from enrolling international students. On Wednesday, President Trump issued a proclamation that barred such students from entering the U.S., citing national security grounds. International students make up about a quarter of Harvard's student body. The U.S. economy added fewer jobs in May than the month before, though the pace of hiring remained steady. The Department of Labor said this morning that employers added 139,000 jobs, slightly more than expected. Strong hiring in the healthcare and restaurant sectors helped offset a drop in federal government jobs. And the unemployment rate remained unchanged at 4.2%, despite ongoing concerns about the impact of President Trump's trade wars. Russia hit Ukraine with a massive air attack overnight, killing at least 4 people and injuring about 50 others. Explosions lit up the night sky in Kyiv during what Ukrainian officials called one of the largest aerial attacks of the war. Russia's defense ministry says the bombardment was, quote, in response to terrorist attacks by Ukraine after Kyiv struck military airfields deep inside Russia last weekend. Russia also says it shot down nearly 200 Ukrainian drones early Friday. This all comes after President Trump said yesterday it might be better to let the two sides, quote, fight for a while before pursuing peace. A Kremlin spokesperson dismissed that position, saying, quote, the U.S. president may have his own point of view, but for us, it is an existential question. It's a question of our security. In Gaza, U.S. and Israeli-backed aid groups stopped operations after limited distribution earlier today, citing overcrowding and unsafe conditions. The Gaza Humanitarian Foundation has now suspended operations twice this week. An earlier pause came after Palestinians were shot near the aid sites. Israel's military said it fired warning shots at people it described as suspects. Meanwhile, Gaza health authorities say Israeli airstrikes killed at least 16 Palestinians today, and the Israeli army said 4 of its soldiers were killed in an explosion in the southern city of Khan Yunis.
Allahu Akbar!
This comes as residents of Gaza marked the Eid al-Adha holiday in the demolished ruins of their places of worship. Others visited graveyards to offer prayers for relatives killed in Israel's military campaign.
We are marking Eid with the remains of our children, with the remains of our fathers and mothers. Every Palestinian house is wounded. Every Palestinian house has a martyr. All of the Gaza Strip is bleeding.
For the roughly 2 billion Muslims around the world, Eid al-Adha marks the end of the Hajj pilgrimage to Mecca, where Muslims from around the world gather to perform acts of worship and renew their faith. It's also known as the Festival of Sacrifice for its ties to the prophet Ibrahim, or Abraham's willingness to sacrifice his son, and is marked by prayers and community meals with family and friends. On Wall Street today, stocks gained ground to end the week. The Dow Jones Industrial Average added more than 400 points on the day. The Nasdaq jumped more than 230 points. The S&P 500 closed above the 6,000-point level for the first time since February. And today marks 81 years since D-Day, the military operation that helped turn the tide in the Second World War and changed the course of history.
Between Laube and Cherbourg in Normandy, the Allied lightning strikes.
The invasion by air, land, and sea was a body blow to Adolf Hitler's regime that eventually led to its collapse. Today, an ever-dwindling number of surviving U.S. veterans returned to Normandy, France, where more than 150,000 Allied troops stormed the beaches on that fateful day. They saluted the thousands of Allied soldiers who died in what was the largest amphibious invasion in history. Still to come, on the NewsHour, David Brooks and Jonathan Capehart weigh in on the week's political headlines. And former New Zealand Prime Minister Jacinda Ardern discusses her new memoir and keeping hope and empathy in politics.
This is the PBS NewsHour from the David M. Rubenstein Studio at WETA in Washington and in the West from the Walter Cronkite School of Journalism at Arizona State University.